Welcome. Here we are. The week, that us as wrestling fans, we wait and we wait. We cross our fingers. We don't want to be disappointed. The road to Wrestlemania, as I'm going to try to fix this here. The road to Wrestlemania 35 is over. It's coming. It's coming. It'll be here. I'm recording this on Friday, so actually, one might argue that it begins even today with NXT and Hall of Fame, which everyone looks forward to, which I look forward to as well. And then the actual WrestleMania card, which is coming up on Sunday, and it's like WrestleMania is the Super Bowl. It's like the World Series. It is the event. I think that the end all be all, so to speak, and the event that everyone looks forward to, where you pull out all the stops. WrestleMania, and I've been watching wrestling for a very long time, and how as you get older, you tend to be a little bit of a jaded wrestling fan, and I want to keep have suspension of disbelief. So you want to hold out hope, and you cross your fingers for the best. This road to WrestleMania for me. I don't know. It seemed like it went by quick, and I get it. But the road to WrestleMania, the overtone past couple of weeks on Raws and SmackDowns, focused on, you might argue, really what it focused on, what it gave its most attention to, was Ronda Rousey. The Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch match. I think if you look back at WrestleMania from last year, it was destined to be, since last year, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. And then, as time evolved throughout, the year since WrestleMania 34, everyone was saying, well, it should be Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. And, Becky Lynch has become white hot, where people were comparing her, calling her, so I'm trying to set this up right, where people are calling her the next, or the women's version of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is how we're going to do the camera. I think that is a bit of a stretch. That's no justice to her, and I'm sure she'll tell you the same. Stone Cold Steve Austin was getting pops. Promos were on point. Becky Lynch sometimes doesn't get the biggest reaction every week, and she could get a little cringeworthy. Now, a lot of people had a problem, and as we're here, and I'm going to be doing predictions in this kind of, video cast. As we got here, people were complaining about, they don't want to see Charlotte Flair in this main event. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, that Charlotte Flair is good for this match. And the fact that She's a ring general. She's only going to add to the match. Ronda Rousey, though she's been very impressive, she hasn't been here. She hasn't been wrestling a long time. The point I'm trying to make is Charlotte Flair will help with this being a three-person match. Will help kind of negate the lulls of the match, I think, and she'll be a good person to do that. We got here to WrestleMania, to this being the main event. Now, if you believe, it's the main event, co-main event, they're calling it the main event. And I think it's a little bit of a little bit overdone. And I get why they overdone it. They want to hype it up. They want to make you feel excited about it. But sometimes less is better than more. Right? Am I explaining that right? I think I am. I'm big on suspension of disbelief. The new thing that they've done, that they're incorporating, it looks like, into the stories and changing things up to kind of make it a little bit more mature. They're using social media. But when you're using social media, you're posting, that you're going to jail, that you're booked, and you're going to central booking. Can you please make it, when you post that picture, can you please make it look like you're in actual central booking and not backstage in the arena? If you're using social media, can you stop saying wrestling is fake? And anyone who watching, who believes wrestling is real is a loser, which was said by Rousey, and without being exactly specific, but that's what she was insinuating. Things like that. Or when you have the pull apart, that was on Raw a couple of weeks ago, you throw two people that are fighting against each other in the same car. 20 cops can't control 3 women. You handcuff a individual and she's yet able to take the police car for a joyride and smash the other police car in front of it. Things like that. And I know I could be nitpicking, but sometimes less is more. And I like the angle that they're going with, using social media, but sometimes less is more. So I guess if we're starting up the predictions, and we could take the main event, and we're going to go in no specific order. Rousey versus Lynch versus Flair. Who do I think will win? I think it's going to be Becky Lynch. I think it's going to be Becky Lynch. And what will happen, and now, as you know, Charlotte Flair is going into this match as a champion. So is Ronda Rousey. Charlotte Flair takes the pin. Becky Lynch is your champ. Becky Lynch now holds 2 titles. So I think what will happen after this, after Becky Lynch wins Ronda Rousey, they're going to work something where Ronda Rousey perhaps was, I forget, it's kind of how they will play off of this, but I think the end result, what will happen, and I don't think the SmackDown belt will be around still. Becky Lynch will be the SmackDown and the Raw champion for some time. She will lose it eventually. They won't unify, the championships. They will keep it separate. And I think what will happen is, it opens up the door for Ronda Rousey, because I do think that she'll be going away for a little vacation. When she comes back, she's going to be using the angle, which is kind of a no-brainer, that she was never pinned. She's still the champ, never pinned. And I think that will set up Lynch versus Rousey, that one-on-one that everyone wanted. I think the following night on Raw, Ronda Rousey will wreak havoc, do something to get her suspended or fired, or whatever it may be. Wreak holy hell on Raw, enables her to be written off the storyline. And when she comes back, she's going to be challenging for the belt, whoever is that champion. And I think that would be whoever is that champion, and her whole angle will be that she was never beaten. I think that would be Becky Lynch will be the champion there for a while. Pre-show, and I'm gonna skip around. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and I think about this Battle Royal. I think like the first year or two that the Battle Royal was introduced, it meant something. Now, as time has gone by, it really doesn't. I don't know. WWE doesn't stress it. Doesn't stress the importance of it. Even the wrestlers, they win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, carry out that trophy once or twice, mention it once or twice that they won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And then nothing really happens with it. Does anyone really care about the who wins the Battle Royal at this point? When you look at guys that won it, Baron Corbin won it. The Hardys won it. No one really. Mojo Rawley won it. Not much has happened since he won it. It hasn't really catapulted anyone. You want to tell me Baron Corbin? Okay, I guess. Everyone seems to hate, and everyone seems to call him an Applebee fast food manager. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to really matter to the fans. WWE doesn't put the emphasis on it. Who do you have in there? Colin Jost from SNL, Michael Che, Braun Strowman, man, not for nothing. Another guy who they kind of never really seem to have anything going on for Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. How is that? One moment this guy is flipping cars, competing. It seemed like he was destined to be a champion, contender for the heavyweight championship. And then next thing you know, he's winning tag belts with a 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, and and now he's in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, having disagreements with two SNL actors. I mean, like, he goes from such a high to then such a low, and they really never seem to have anything for him at WrestleMania. I mean, nonetheless, I mean, who they have announced is, who's announced already for the Battle Royal? No Way Jose, Braun Strowman, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, Rhino, Victor, Connor, Shelton Benjamin, Carl Anderson, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Otis Tucker, EC3, Chad Gable, Bobby Roode, Lucha House Party. Now, if I have to pick who would win this as the prediction here, who do we go with? Does Braun Strowman really need it? I mean, no. I don't think Braun Strowman needs that. I don't think it will be Braun Strowman. Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, no. No Way Jose, no. I mean, the only thing that I could see this for, that would, maybe be a step in the right direction for, is a guy like EC3. Though I could see the WWE just wanting to use a Braun Strowman as just wreaking havoc on everyone, throwing them outside the ring like non-stop throughout the whole match, and just completely destructing everyone, making it quick, 10-minute match or something in record time, and being a monster in Braun Strowman. This is going to be in the kickoff show, I believe, so I could see that happening. But that's a possibility, but I'm going to go with EC3, because EC3, man, kind of his debut has been a fart. So maybe this will do something for EC3. I don't know. Get it in the right direction after WrestleMania. Build off of EC3 winning the Andre the Giant, Battle Royal. And, with this Battle Royal, they got to do something to make it worth meaningful. I know it's kind of like a match where you're throwing in people to kind of, just to make sure that this is kind of like that match where people could get in and be part of WrestleMania. I think Kevin Owens wasn't even not one of the names on that list. As of right now, I don't think he's even in it. Same goes for Elias, but I'm still gonna go with EC3, because I think maybe this would be a springboard to kind of introduce him after all the storylines started. You gonna go with EC3. The women's Battle Royal, which will also be in the pre-show. A couple of names. Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. All those names are in there. Mickie James, Zelina Vega, Sarah Logan, Ruby Riott. Man, I think what's going to happen here, what I'm thinking is, because really what happened, now there's no shame in losing to Charlotte Flair, I guess, but the WWE really didn't do any favors to Asuka, because they couldn't find an opponent for her. They kind of just took the belt off of her. Why they did that 2 weeks before WrestleMania and just couldn't do this way earlier is beyond me. I don't know. Do you guys think that maybe just the WWE is not confident in Asuka at all? Like maybe they just didn't like her title reign. Now it wasn't the best, kind of in that it wasn't helped by the fact of, she kind of got lost. She really did get lost. She wasn't even on TV for a couple of weeks there because everyone, everything was focused on Ronda, Flair, and Becky, and Asuka was forgotten about. So I don't know what this means for Asuka. Have they kind of just, when they were playing around for opponents for Asuka and thought maybe we just don't see her as being champion at all. So with that in mind, being that Asuka was already champion, I think the popular bet with a lot of people be thinking that would be Asuka that wins. But I think that WWE is all in on Mandy Rose. All in on Mandy Rose, and they're gonna have. I think Mandy Rose is gonna win the championship. Not the championship, but the Battle Royal, and maybe then she could, challenge for a championship down the road. Who knows? I think it's gonna be. Mandy Rose. Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. They've given Tony Nese something to do here. Kind of, are you happy for Nese? Clever. Calls his finisher the running Nese. Kind of, instead of the running knee, the running Nese. I get it. I like it. Local New York guy is going to be on the pre-show. Buddy Murphy. And listen, 205. Can we be honest with each other? I mean, this is a hard match to pick, but can we be honest with each other? I don't know. I think the fact that 205 Live is on the network and WWE needs to fill content, and it's relatively cheap to produce since it's after SmackDown, which does it no favors. I just think 205 is there because it needs to fill content, and nothing against the wrestlers there. They're all great. I just don't see, still after all this time, I just don't see the buzz that 205 Live is supposed to. That buzz is not there for 205 Live. Nonetheless, Buddy Murphy. I just think it's going to be Buddy Murphy. I think they are all in on Buddy Murphy, trying to make him, a dominant force, which he has been. Just kind of rule the roost there. Tony Nese will come close, and the New York guy, but I don't know. I just see Buddy Murphy winning it. What's going to be in the main card, or at least you figure in the main card? Randy Orton versus AJ Styles, and these two guys have, especially. This is a match that I'm really looking forward to. I think the last promo that they did on SmackDown kind of nailed it for me. Kind of that kind of clicked it for me. Be like, all right, I am really looking forward to seeing this match. That promo that they did. Pretty much. AJ Styles talking about drug suspensions, and Randy Orton talking about how he was working in bingo halls in the AJ Styles, and those promos were intense. They went that whole angle where, I was on the main card, you were working indies. And it's kind of reminiscent, which is kind of going to lead me to say that I think Randy Orton's going to win this. See it being a close match, seeing it being maybe an 8-minute match, You gotta see kind of like an RKO out of nowhere, clean finish, just like boom out of nowhere, right? AJ going for a flying forearm, and just one of like those like photo op moments of an RKO, kind of like what he did with Seth Rollins a couple of years back when it was Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton. And with this whole storyline, which kind of makes me think, like I mentioned, that Randy Orton will win. It's very reminiscent of Sting versus Triple H, where everyone thought, okay, Sting never wrestled here. Coming to WWE, everyone always wanted to see Sting versus Undertaker. Never happened. Now he's finally here. He's going to beat Triple H, have his WrestleMania moment, and that did not happen. It's kind of like it portrayed, well, we're the WWE guy and we're better than you. I just think that's the way it's Vince would want to send that message, that no one's better than the WWE. And I think he would go that route, and that's why I think he would have Randy Orton winning. At this point you might say, well, Tom, AJ Styles has been here for a minute already. He's pretty much considered a WWE guy now at this point. Yeah, but where he came from, I just kind of see Vince maybe putting the little elbow to AJ being on the Indies for all those years, or being not in the WWE for all those years. So I see Randy Orton winning that match. What else do we have here, man? So, by the way, this is a 17. What is it? This card could go on for hours. Too many matches, right? I mean, do you think the WWE would consider this having WrestleMania like in two parts? Let's say having it on a Saturday and then on a Sunday. If you have 17, 18 matches, split the card up in half, and you're able to devote more time to the matches and let it play out. And I don't know. I mean, and I'm sure nonetheless, if that ever happened split up in 2 days, a lot of people would come. They would. I think it would sell out both days. And people would go twice, some of them, like the diehard wrestling fans, which they've known to come from across everywhere. So I think it would sell out, having WrestleMania in 2 nights. People would buy tickets for both shows. And I don't know, because it's sitting there, where you have WrestleMania this year, it's open field, and you're sitting there forever. This is New York, so it's going to be cold, or let's say it's vice versa, hot. You're sitting there. The point is, sitting pre-shows and everything, you're sitting there for a very long time for a wrestling event. That's why maybe splitting it up in 2 days will be better, and the crowd will be into it both nights, as opposed to having some dragging on. Triple H versus Batista. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know. They kind of threw in a stipulation there that if Triple H loses, he won't ever wrestle again. I don't know, and the seeds were planted on that SmackDown, that special SmackDown episode last year, all right, in that confrontation in the ring, or that little jab with Batista and Triple H last year, right? And when he came back, the promos that Batista did from his office wherever he was in that remote location, where he had an interview, I believe it was with Michael Cole. It just seemed weird, like if he, like he wasn't, having any passion and any anger or whatever. And I mean, he's an actor. I mean, it just felt off. He comes in last time, shows a vignette of him attacking Triple H and throughout various years, and that Triple H has never beat him. It's no, that he has never beat Triple H. Whatever the story. It just has felt flat. I think they say less is good sometimes, but I was expecting more from the promo work between these two. Do I think that we will never see Triple H wrestling again? No. Saudi Arabia is coming. Okay, and this is Triple H. Remember that. Okay, so you're gonna see Triple H with this grandiose entrance, and you're gonna see him beating Batista, because Triple H loves wrestling. This is what he does. He's in the back now. He's never gonna have in storyline. I don't think he would ever allow anyone to have that kind of thing over against him in storyline, that he forced Triple H never to wrestle again. So I think it's going to be Triple H that wins this one. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. I think you're gonna see Kofi Mania. Kofi Mania. I could see that happening. Kofi Mania is very similar to the Yes Movement. I see Kofi winning next night on SmackDown. I see maybe Daniel Bryan invoking his rematch clause, and a match would be on SmackDown. Kind of see that happening. What I see is, if Kofi Kingston wins, I do think it's not going to be for the long term where he's going to hold the strap. I do think some type of fuckery will happen, whether it be during the celebration for Kofi Kingston winning the championship or the next night on SmackDown. I just think that either Big E is going to turn on him, or Xavier Woods is going to turn on him, or both of them are going to turn on him. I just think, if Kofi wins, which I think he will, there will be some type of fuckery. So, give me Kofi winning against Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. This is a feel-good story for Roman Reigns. He's come back, kind of gets him in. This is not a main event. People are cheering Roman Reigns, surprisingly still, and kind of this is a match that's getting Roman Reigns getting his feet wet again. And so, feel-good story. I just see him beating Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre losing to Roman Reigns, I don't think really hurts him. I think he could easily get all his heat, which I think would happen is right after the match, he will attack him and then kind of get the last word in. But it will allow Roman Reigns to, have his moment, everyone cheer him again after he, wins. So then, after he wins, like I said, I think you're gonna see Drew McIntyre interfere, knock him out. Out comes Dean Ambrose, who hasn't been, I don't believe, booked for anything either. Not even in the Battle Royal. Here he comes trying to make the save for his buddy Roman Reigns. He gets knocked out as well. And knocked out so bad, where in storyline he's just, that's kind of like a way to, I guess, kill him off the screen, where they do a number on him, they play, they say that he's injured, and, so I already think they haven't mentioned it on TV, which, but they mentioned it on the internet, which is weird. Like, I never recall anyone saying anything like that, where they said that, Dean Ambrose has chosen not to renew his contract. I don't think that's ever been done. So, it hasn't been seen on TV. It hasn't been said on TV that he's not coming back, and what they're going to do to Dean Ambrose on WrestleMania will be a way just to kind of kill him off TV. And it'll make Drew McIntyre look like a super monster. Super monster. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. Everyone was complaining about this match. I mentioned that I thought it would be... still, I thought it would be like some type of fuckery where Kurt Angle comes out and knocks out Baron Corbin, and then we see the match that everyone wanted to see in Baron Corbin versus, Kurt Angle versus John Cena. But I don't know. It seems like they're standing their ground, and WWE is gonna do this match. I think Kurt Angle is gonna surprise you guys. He's gonna throw everything out, lay it all out there. You're gonna see moonsaults, kitchen sink's gonna be thrown out. From everything that he could do, he's gonna pull out to give it his one last hurrah. And I think he's gonna have his moment. And I think he will beat Baron Corbin. They're gonna have that's the streamers. They're gonna give him his moment. See, it's I don't think, and I listen. I just kind of, I don't know. Like, I think about this, and I think about last year where it was Rousey versus Rousey was teaming up with Kurt Angle, and I remember even like last year looking at Kurt Angle, and he still wasn't